If we ready. Well, and welcome. Welcome, folks, to the show, Let the Truth Be Told. I want to welcome you to the show. We got a great show coming at you today. And let's see, we get my camera right. We got a great show, and we want folks to tune in. We started a little bit early so we can share it around to our group. So we do this every day. TECNTV.com. That's where you can go and find us at right away at our TV station in Washington D.C. And yeah, you can find us right there, right here. Let the truth be told. Did we get a? Yeah, we got one going on. Yeah, folks, I want you to share it around. I got a great show. I got a great guest. We're going to talk about health and wellness. We're going to talk a little bit about the Kanye West situation and what he said, and why everything is just going totally out of control for Kanye West right now. And I think we need to discuss this. There needs to be a discussion about what he said, because there's some truth into the things that Kanye said, but that's something we want to talk about. So if you ain't got nothing to do, spread it around. I got a great guest coming in today. We're going to talk about health and wellness. This young man is a big trainer out in L.A., Anthony TIGERSTYLE Lowery. He has been doing health and wellness. He is one of the most physically fit men I've seen in a long time. So, folks, we're going to talk about health and wellness. We're going to talk about what got Kanye West in trouble, because can't nobody talk about it like we do here. Let the truth be told. So you don't want to miss it. Tune in. We got a great show. We got a great guest. If you ain't got nothing to do, call your friends and let them know you're in tune to Let the Truth Be Told Radio. I am your host, David L. Lowry Jr., and the show is Let the Truth Be Told. Let the Truth Be Told. I'd rather for you to hurt me with the truth than comfort me with a lie. Y'all share it around. We got a great show today. And folks, y'all come on in. I'm just a little bit taken off by remarks that can be made here in the country, especially when it comes to American people. Yeah, let me get that film right here. So y'all share it around. We got a great show. We got to respond to this Kanye West thing, to the American people across this country. We cannot be distracted. These are distractions that are happening right now. We're getting close to election time, and I can guarantee you there's going to be other distractions that's come. But the real things that we need to be paying to is, like, we need to be paying close attention to this war with Russia, because this getting hyped up. So it's a lot of other things that the American people need to address besides what Kanye said. We need to be worried about this economy. We need to be worried about foreign relations. We need to be worried about food on the shelves. We need to be worried about a whole lot of other things besides what Kanye West said. So if you ain't got nothing to do, call your friends and let them know you're listening to Let the Truth Be Told Radio. I'm your host, David L. Lowry Jr., and the show is Let the Truth Be Told. Let the Truth Be Told. I would rather for you to hurt me with the truth than comfort me with lies. So y'all come on in. We're going to get it all together. We got about 5 minutes before showtime, and I'm sharing it around to the groups. To my co-host missing in action, Mr. Teresa Hughes, hey, we got it. Just relax. We're going to make sure that everybody get the news today. But, folks, we got a good show. It's a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of stuff that's going on that we should be really thinking about, opposed to the stuff that's going on that don't matter, that doesn't mean anything. And I think right now a lot of stuff in the media is a distraction. It's a total distraction from exactly what we don't need to be thinking about. We need to be thinking about this economy and fixing it. That's what we need to be thinking about. How are we going to get food to our shelves and foods on our table? Gas prices are high. We need to be thinking about those things. And the whole country should not be in an uproar about something Kanye West said. But these are distractions. We've said it so many times. The closer we get to the elections, the more things that are going to happen, the more people are going to try to distract the American people to think about other things. So we really have to stay focused. We really have to make sure that we have to stay focused and get to the polls, because we don't want to be sitting around here worrying about what happened in Hollywood, what happened with Kanye West. And as a matter of fact, I want to ask the American people and patriots across this country, what happened to the Constitution with freedom of speech? We're not allowed to say things anymore in this country. it's getting really crazy that everything a person says be held so accountable to him that it could destroy their career. But there's other things that have happened in this country that everybody is scared to talk about. We're going to talk about it tonight, and we're going to get it in, that everybody's scared to talk about, but nobody is saying that we should boycott them or anything. So, folks, got a great conversation going. And I want folks to tune in. Please call in if you can. Let's see here. Y'all can call into the show. I want your opinion, 708-663-5262. You can see us at TECNTV.com. That's our station out of Washington, D.C., the direct stream, CETNTV.com. You can go there, but I got a great guest. But we got a lot of things to talk about today. And one of the things that we're going to discuss is the freedom of speech. And I think it's important that the American people and patriots across this country, we got to retain that. And every time somebody says something, they're a bad person, or we got to write them off, or we got to kill endorsements, all of that stuff. That's what the problem is. Nobody is talking about the truth. Everybody's saying what's politically correct, and that's why the country is in trouble. We're in danger, real danger, and yet we worrying about a few words a rapper said. So to the American people, let us get ready for the show. Come on in, share it around. I'm sharing it around. I got a great show. We're going to talk about some real issues that we need to be talking about. What we need to be talking about, we're not talking about. We need to be thinking about other things besides what Kanye West said, because Kanye West is not important right now. This country is in a bad way. It's in bad shape. And if we, the American people, don't stand up and do something positive to turn it around, then what Kanye West says means nothing. So if you ain't got nothing to do, call your friends and let them know you're listening to Let Truth Be Told Radio, and I'm your host, and we about to get it in very shortly. So share it around, folks. Send it to everybody you know. Like I said, sit back, chill. Let's have this conversation. Y'all can call in 708-663-5262. Again, that's 708-663-5262. And we can get it on. Hey, Carmen, how you doing? Good to see you at the show today. Y'all come on in. Hey, Carmen, how you doing? Miss Hall, Wayman, Daugherty, I'm glad y'all watching. Tune in. We got a great show today. Y'all share it around. Yes, folks, y'all share it around. Let's get started. It's 6 o'clock on the dot. We finna make this happen.
But one of the questions that comes up already rather frequently, does this have anything to do?
I got you. I'll have you
with
in
the
a minute.
efficacy of
I'll bring you in a minute.
vaccine?
A global
I'll bring you in
pandemic
a minute.
or a global plague?
I can't choke. I can't breathe. Please. Maurice.
The sounds of George Floyd.
I can't take that, man. I can't. I'm laying on the ground.
And the carnage continue. Black men and women who've been gunned down, our law enforcement here in the United States. And there's not a lot of things been said. If you want to start talking about some things, we need to start talking about the treatment in the Black community. And that's some of the stuff we're going to address.
Police gunning down Black kids and men, an accident or simply murder?
Jesse, what you?
We can deliver racial justice, and we can make America once again a leading force for good in the world.
Y'all ready?
President Biden, will he make America great?
Y'all ready?
We want to hear from you. Global, universal, and coming from the windy city of Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah!
Now it's time to let the truth
Come
be told
on!
with David Lowery.
Good morning, Vietnam! Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at. And welcome to the talk show, Let the Truth Be Told. Folks, I got a great show coming at you today. We got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. But I got a special guest in the studio. We're going to talk about health and wellness because some of us are not eating right and we're not living right, and there's things we need to know. But the most important thing we're going to talk about the Kanye West gap. I think there's more things in the country right now than worried about what somebody like Kanye West said. So if you ain't got nothing to do, call your friends and let them know. You're listening to Let the Truth Be Told Radio, and I am your host right out of Chi-Town, David L. Harvey Jr. I'd rather for you to hurt me with the truth than comfortable with a lie. Let's get it in. Y'all share it around. Let's get ready to rumble. Folks, thanks for tuning in. You're tuning in to Let the Truth Be Told talk show. I'm kind of excited today to be on the horn today. I got a special guest coming in, and we're going to talk about health and wellness. But I want to set the stage for the next, after we talk about the health and wellness, I'm going to set the stage for the next conversation. Listen, American people and patriots across this country, we have to defend the rights of the Constitution. And the freedom of speech and religious choice is the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. And there's so many things that now in this politically correct world that everybody get offended when somebody said something out of line or they think that it's wrong. But there's a lot of things that's been said. There's a lot of things that has been done in the Black community, and it seems to be just okay. Nobody talks about the Holocaust of Black men and women killed at the hands of the police. Nobody talks about how bad, downtrodden the Black community is, nor is anybody trying to fix it. So when a Black man said something, a billionaire Black man said something, and it's the truth, the American people get all upset. They want to tear him down. They want to lose endorsements. But yet and still, it was so much stuff that was done during COVID with Black Lives Matters and all the stuff that they tore up and tore down and lives that they destroyed. But what happened to them? So with no further ado, I'm going to bring my guest in. We're going to get the health and wellness party in right away because I definitely want to get to the Kanye side of things. I want to explore both sides of it. So if you ain't got nothing to do, y'all share it around. Mr. TIGERSTYLE, what's up, baby? I can't hear you. Let me see. Let me see what you got going on here.
No, I'm sorry about that. That was on my end. How you doing, Unc? How's everything?
Man, I love it. I love it, man. You're looking good out there. You're looking like you're in shape.
Thanks, man. I'm trying, man. One day at a time.
Well, you know, man, as your uncle, I hope I did a good job of giving you that instinct to go out and keep your body right, keep your mind right. You know, when you're in shape. You know, I just turned the big 6'5" Saturday, man.
That's right. You're looking great, man. Happy belated birthday, Unc, for sure. Definitely.
Man, you know that. Now, I want our listeners to get a little background. Give a little background about you, the work you do with Lives 1000. Talk a little bit about that and let the people know what you do and how you're doing it and why you're doing it.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me, Unc. I really like your forum. It's good. It's sparks conversation. So big ups to you, man. I'm glad you've been doing your thing, man. Live at 1,000 is the brand. Live at 1,000. The mindset behind Live at 1,000 is if we set the bottom bar at 100, which is, the high bar for most, 100 is what you're peaking for. If we set the bottom bar at 100 and we raise it to reach for 1,000, we're trying to live at our best life. We're trying to live our healthiest, most optimal life. And so that's the mindset behind the brand, Live at 1,000 Fitness. It actually was sparked. I mean, yes, I've always been with athletics and that kind of thing. And, of course, when I was young, we went to the gym and worked out
all the time. 24 folks, I got to tell you, this is my nephew, and we lived in the gym. We like gym rats, man. The uncle had the boys out there all the time, and I'm so proud of him of what he has done, man. And that's why I'm having him on this show. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah. So, but the thing that really influenced me to become professional as a trainer and as a nutrition coach was when mom got diagnosed with cancer at first, and trying to avoid the chemotherapy thing was the first thing, and just trying to find holistic ways to try to approach that without her having to go under the chemo and it just deteriorating her body, and trying to find some more holistic ways to eat and just change her habits was really kind of what got me seeking the information. And I had always worked at gyms and stuff like that, as you know, on the side from doing music. I'd always worked at the gyms, Gold Gym, different stuff like that. And I had been that close. I had been like this close away from it. And a lot of folks assumed that I was a trainer, but I never was. I never had that knowledge. But I can translate it well. I can explain it to folks. And I guess that's just a gift for being able to do that. So that led me to establishing this brand, going down the rabbit hole of trying to find holistic uh, solutions for mom and things that we could do in that sense. And then also my own personal journey of wanting to transform my body and physique kind of came to like in the middle. They kind of clashed in the middle. So it just was only right for me to pursue the credential and get eventually certified in training and in nutrition coaching. I'm certified through the National Academy of Sports Medicine, NASM, which is one of the two top tiers besides ACE. And I've been doing this for about, 10, 12 years, strong with my brand and, off and on before that, but strong with my brand. And that's the mission. The mission is honestly so that way we can better our communities. As grandma and grandpa, your parents, my grandparents, they didn't have this information at their time in their generation. They didn't have the access. We have the access, they're just not taking advantage of it. And some of us that are getting access to it, we're taking the shortcuts even in doing that. And we're not really doing the real work and finding the real education on how we can get the best out of our lives. So I took it upon myself to do that, establish this brand and kind of mission it out to do that as much as I possibly can and kind of spread that information.
And folks, I can vouch for this work. You see this pretty umwa face. About 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with a stomach problem, which was not ulcers, but it shut my stomach down. And I was overweight. I was eating probably 15 wings and a half a pizza and washing it down with sodas and all of that. And I ended up with a stomach problem. And when my stomach shut down, I was overweight. I was so overweight. I was having problems digesting my food. At nighttime, man, I was burping up and all that stuff. But it was a blessing that after I came out of that stomach situation, that I sit down and I talk to my nephew. I said, "Look, man, I need some guidance. I need some help." And he sort of told me about what I had to do as far as eating right. Tone, talk a little bit about eating right for your body, things that you can put into your body, because I'm telling you folks, I was in real bad shape. I had lost so much weight. I was down to like about 170 pounds. Gastritis is what I had. I had gastritis. And what the gastritis did, it froze my stomach. I couldn't eat. I could drink fluids anytime I tried to put food down in me, I would throw it up. And it wasn't until I just sit back, I relaxed, I was able to go to the doctor. I got medicines to help my stomach. But the food, talk a little bit about some of the foods that people can eat who might be experiencing some of these kind of problems that can help them out.
Yeah, sure. Well, first, when it comes to diet, that's the most important thing. A lot of people get it confused that it's all about just the activity piece. There's energy in, okay, which is the intake and the foods that you're taking in and how that supplies energy for your body. And then there's energy out, your body's ability to expunge that energy, use it, and to burn off all the excess. The energy out being the physical training part, the energy in being nutrition. When it comes to nutrition, you have to understand your micronutrients. You have to understand proteins, carbohydrates, fatty acids, and dietary fiber. Understanding these elements will do a lot for you in your goals and what you're trying to do, because if you don't just follow these trends and these myths that people tell you about these things, then you'll understand how they work better for your body and you'll understand how to apply them. Like one example is you'll hear people talk about intermittent fasting. So that's when they'll tell people to take all the carbohydrates out of their diet for a certain sustained amount of time. So this way they can stimulate fat loss and weight loss. Well, actually weight loss is not fat loss, it's weight loss. And there's a big difference between fat loss and weight loss. Guys,
yes, explain it.
Yeah, that's a long discussion, but the short and skinny of it is carbohydrates, guys, are the primary source of energy for your body. That's your body's number one go-to source for energy. So you don't want to remove those. You want to understand how to properly implement those. Protein build strong muscle and bones. So as you're a bodybuilder or you're somebody who's working out and you're tearing down muscle and you're losing bone density daily, you want to have a certain amount of protein in your body to help replace that and help you build new lean muscle. So that's where protein comes into play. A lot of people get protein confused as an energy source. It's not energy. Carbohydrates is your body's number one source of energy. Then you have fatty acids. Fatty acids like omega-3s, omega-6s. These are good for heart health. Okay, those are very familiar to a lot of people. There's a lot of places you can find those kind of things. But fatty acids are very much useful to you because they're sources of energy as well. And they're also good for cleansing out the system and keeping you functionally sound. The last thing is your dietary fiber. Dietary fiber is good for bowel health. You don't want to miss out on dietary fiber, guys, because if you're not going healthy to the restroom, you're retaining a lot of the stuff. Yeah, you're retaining a lot of stuff that's poisoning and toxing your system. And that's the reason why it's hard for you to get out of the zone where you are. So you have to understand how to properly stack these macronutrients in your diet. And when you learn how to do that, depending on what your goal is, then you'll have successful results. My job is to help you do that.
And you know what? I want to send a shout out to my niece down in Florida. Star, what's up, baby girl? Well, we love you. We're going to have you on the show too. But folks, it is important that we eat right. And I really didn't realize it, like I said to a year ago. I've always been the big, strong, and the muscle-bound uncle that, you know, that seemed invincible, okay?
This guy right here, y'all. Hold up. This guy right here is a hamburger. That's the third time. I wasn't going to let it go because I'm his nephew. This is a hamburger right here, y'all. This is my guy. I'm going to tell y'all, the honey sugar, that's his nickname, the honey sugar. The honey sugar is honestly, he's a dog. He's a real athlete. This guy is a guy that gets in the gym. He loves to clang and bang. We are Rocky fans, so we have this inside joke about Mickey and the bell, and I ain't hear no bell. You know, you don't hear no bell. You gotta keep it. You gotta keep it moving. You don't hear no bell. So, Unc is not lying on that. He really is. He has the work ethic and all that kind of stuff like that. So I do want to give him his props on just like, you know, introducing me to, you know, physical training like at a young age, and that's good. Like if you're older out there and you got young kids, sons, whatever, get involved in their physical training because you don't want them like when I went to the gym this summer, I saw a lot of kids in there that had free access to the gym, but they had no guidance at all, right? And so you want to get in there with them. Get in there with them. It's generational. Make sure you passing this information down to the next generation. So thanks again, Unc, for that. I just want to jump in and say that because, you know, yeah, hamburger. This guy's a hamburger.
What I wanted to say is this, folks. As the older that you get, the slower your metabolism get. You know, I've been privy to train with some of the world champions like Michael Nunn, Antoine Eccles back in the day. That was when I was in some shape. I'm at 65 now. God has truly blessed me to stay in shape. But in the younger days, I was quite that beast, man. I worked out. I played professional football in the USFL with the Chicago Blitz. I mean, even to the day, my training is very rigorous. I'm up at 5 in the morning. I pray, I read. I'm in the gym. I hit the bag. I jump rope. I mean, at 65, I'm still working out like a 35-year-old man. And I have to because I have to contend with these guys, okay? When we get up together, it's a basketball game. It's something that we're going to play. So I have to stay in shape. I got a 6'8" son. I got a son that's 6'4". I got a son that's 6'5". So I have to stay in some kind of condition. Tone, to people who out there might have, you know, a lot of people have diabetes type 2. And as, you know, I have a lot of clients that have that. What are some of the things, because they're taking a lot of people off the metformin and some of these other medicines who have simple diabetes type 2. What are some of the things that people can do to come off that medicine and eat so that they don't have to worry about getting down the road to where they have full-blown diabetes and using the insulin? What are some of the things folks can do to better their health?
Great question on that, Unc. That's a great question, and I have a great answer for you. To get yourself off your butt and get in a good program, okay? You guys, I want to drive this home, and I don't want you to take this for no BS at all. I'm a straight shooter. There's no way around physical training and nutrition. You have to understand how to properly do your nutrition and properly train. Going to the gym is good if you have the good ethic of going to the gym, but it's more than just going to the gym. And it's also more than just hitting the body parts that you're most used to. When your favorite body parts are going to only do you so well, and then you're going to plateau off, and you have to learn how to keep adjusting as you adapt, so that way you can get the most out of your training. Other than that, you burn a lot of hours in the gym just being there fashionably, and you're getting no results, right? So my whole approach to this, just not to be another trainer, is that let's take all the bull crap out of it. All right. You need a program. If you don't know what you're doing, if you really don't, it really behooves you. And I'm not saying this now. I'm not saying this to sell you, but you'll figure this out later in your life when you have to figure out long-term care facilities and all of that kind of stuff. Okay. You want yourself to have your best life in your elder years. Right now is one thing. But as you get older, you want these years to be easier, and you want them to be, you want to stay mobile. And the only way you're going to do that, guys, is not just from going to the gym, hitting weights only. doing it. You have to get a good program. You have to understand postural support. You have to understand joint stability, so you understand how you don't tear tendons and that kind of stuff, because they get harder to repair the older we get. You have to understand how to keep your body in a good balance as far as your weight loss. And if you're just following trends and stuff like that, that's not really giving you the real proper education to understand how to implement this stuff. So that's why I implore everybody to at least take the investment. If you do it one time, just get some kind of personal training. Because I was totally against, I was like, yeah, I can do this myself. I was like that too before I was in this field. And when you get educated on all the little acute variables that you are not educated on, I'm telling you, it's a light bulb. Let's just put it to you in this perspective. If you know any pro trainer, if you know any athlete, anyone that is training and performing at the top level, and they do not have a trainer or a nutritionist or anything like that, right? You let me know, because I want to learn from that person. Because I can guarantee you, everybody that you admire, everybody that you watch on Thursday night, Sunday night football and basketball, everybody you see out there has a trainer. All right.
And that is so true. You just have to have the tenacity. I think I watched you train, and I watched you, you do your thing. He is really, from a standing still, you jumping on top of boxes and lifting this, and you pulling yourself up. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the foods that you can eat, Tone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want to talk about what are some of the things that you suggest as far as a meal. When you cut back, you get into the gym, what should a person eat after they've been to the gym? Because I know I was there this morning. I was so hungry when I got out, and I ended up getting a salad. I got some baked chicken to go in my system. Give our listeners a little bit about some of the foods they can eat and fruits they can have to really cut the weight, but yet provide a boost of energy.
Well, what I can do is I can give you some tips. To be realistic with you, certain things you have to understand are in and out of your practice scope. For me as a nutritional coach, as a nutrition coach, it is not in my place to give you meal plans or to diagnose meal plans. That's for a registered dietitian, and that's for a nutritionist, right? So just to be clear, if you need someone to write meal plans for you, you need to seek out an RDN or you need to seek out a nutritionist. Now, me as a nutrition coach, what I can help you do is adjust your caloric intake. I can help you make better choices, and I can inform and educate you on that kind of stuff and help you navigate. Now, with that said, you need to make sure that you understand the balance of your intake. A good thing to do is journal in your food. So just as far as, because foods are going to vary. So to answer your question, foods are going to vary, okay, depending on what people have going on health-wise, right? So it'd be kind of hard to kind of generalize a mood, but I can tell you these things. Proteins are best used after a workout. Why? Because of MPS, muscle protein synthesis. So there's an hourly window after a workout, after the muscles are broken down, when the body needs protein to help rebuild, right? And that's where MPS comes in. That's a good time to digest your protein. So if you guys are out there and you're wondering, where do I put my protein in my diet? That's a good place to do it post-workout, okay? Now, before a workout, so you don't be lethargic. A lot of people ask me this. They go, well, should I eat before I work out? Should I eat? Should I not? Should I go into a workout starving? I don't suggest you go into a workout starving. No. Yes. I say about an hour or two before workout, you have a light carb meal. A light carb meal. Understand what I'm saying, guys? A light carb meal, and this is going to give you fuel and focus for your workout. Now, I'm just going to cover a couple of myths because we're trying to go down the food thing. People ask me about caffeine as well. Caffeine. Is it good or bad? Caffeine can be bad. Anything can be bad if it's overindulged. But if you're only using 1 cup of coffee in the morning, it can actually be helpful to your weight loss. It's going to help you curb your appetite. It's going to give you focus for a short period of time, right? And it's going to give you a little bit of sustainment. So you'll be fine. You're going to be nice and energized during your workout. You're going to come fresh. So about an hour before workout, a nice regular cup of coffee. Now, I'm not talking about the Starbucks Frappuccino or your favorite whipped cream treat. I know, right? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying a regular cup of Joe, okay, will get you going. Or, guys, if you're not a coffee or a tea drinker, a zero energy drink. A zero energy drink. The key word being zero, guys, okay, because you don't want the sugar and you don't want the calories, okay? You do want that little bit of caffeine boost. Other than that, you have to just keep those things in moderation. Now, carbohydrates. You got to know the difference, guys, between complex and simple carbohydrates and how they need to be applied for your diet. So again, to your question, it's going to depend on the type of person. A diabetic won't eat the same as a regular person as far as their carb intake because their sugar levels, right? Somebody else, and high blood pressure, they're going to adjust their carb intake as well, depending on the type of food choices that they have for the sodium, right? So that's going to always vary. But like I said again, guys, the one way you can get your mind wrapped around this a lot easier is to try an app, like say, for example, MyFitnessPal. Very popular. My clients use it. A very popular app. Plug your foods in there. You can see the breakdown of each foods. It also gives you a projection of what your weight will be in the next few weeks after you make your journal entries for the day. So that's a great tool. That's a good way. But looking up foods that you can eat appropriately for your specific diet is the best way to go, or getting yourself a registered dietitian.
Tony, I want to, because I have a lot of friends too that I want to get them towards you, and a lot of times when we develop these big stomachs, men look awkward when their stomachs are. I'm trying to say it the nice way, okay?
I can't with you, man. I can't. That's funny.
Go with me on this. But men look awkward with that big old gut,
he
man.
Said it. I didn't say it. He said it, y'all.
Oh, no, I had it. It was hanging off me like I was having a baby. And it wasn't it wasn't until Christmas a few years ago, man, when I sat on Santa Claus' lap and I had all the kids together and they took a picture, and man, I looked at my stomach and the sideways view of my stomach. It looked like I had a sack hanging in front of me.
Hold tight. Wait, hold a second. You sat on Santa Claus. Did y'all hear that?
Yeah,
you sat on Santa Claus' lap.
Yeah, Santa Claus was looking at me like, you better get up off here, because I'm a big kid.
Damn. that had to be. I want to know who Santa Claus was. Just goddamn.
His legs were shaking, but I got up anyway, and I saw the sideways view, and that's the reason why I went after my stomach, and I started to eat less. I started to take laxatives because there's just a bunch of crap laying around inside you. Talk a little bit about something that can help shrink the stomach.
Yes. One thing you guys can do is look at your saturated and trans fat intake. Okay, saturated and trans fat. You guys are I know it's a very taboo for people to look at the nutrient facts on your products and stuff like that, but don't be intimidated by that, guys. That's the kind of stuff you want to know what's going on in your body. So saturated and trans fats are things that I think you want to focus on if you want to really try to take it down a notch in the stomach area. Okay, all right. Using all of those things that have a lot of shelf life, all right, are going to be really tough for your body. It's going to be really tough for your body. Hydrogenated oils and stuff like that make things have more preservatives. So that's just how it is. So you know how something, when it's room temperature, it'll melt, right? It'll melt, right? Okay, it typically doesn't have a lot of shelf life to it, right? Like butter or something like that. But you have other things that you can sit out and they won't even melt at all. They won't, because they have a lot of hydrogenated oil and they've been pumped a lot. They've been treated, right? Preservatives. So you want to stay away from trans fats and those kind of things like that, and saturated fats. Those things are bad. So looking on the back of your nut facts and stuff like that, look at that. If you got something that's 5% or more in saturated fat, man, put that joint back and go for something else. Trust me. Okay, so your saturated fats and trans fats is one thing you want to look at. The next thing, if you're a person that deals with high blood pressure, always check your sodium, man. Guys, stay away from these things like these ramen noodles, these really very cheap, inexpensive foods. I get it that they're cost efficient and you might be a little bit on the budget, but I implore you to try to find some healthier choices. Try to stay away from those things. Look at the sodium intake on like a pack of those like ramen noodles, right? You're talking like 500 milligrams of sodium, like, and we're talking about per serving, and you got to look at the serving amount. All right, so that doesn't mean like for the whole thing. That means depending on how much they say the serving is. All right, so you got to really get educated on those kind of things, guys. And I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna sound like a sales pitch, but if it's not myself or it's somebody similar, please take the leap and go out and get you some personal training. Now, they shouldn't be eye gouging you for personal training. I'm gonna tell you that too. You shouldn't be ridiculous. That's the thing that kind of pees me off about this industry, is that there's a lot of trainers who eye gouge people in their prices, and it makes it very intimidating, and it makes it very seeming out of reach for people to do such like that. Like I'm gonna break it down for you guys. Let me show you how cool I am. You guys can train with me for about $40 a week. That's how cool it is. Now, trainers, eat that. Eat that.
That's just
$40
astronomical.
a week, guys. You guys can train with me virtually or whatever, wherever you're at, whatever. I have an app. I can train you wherever you're at. You can have a program. You know exactly what you're doing. Boom. You can train with me in person, and it's a little bit more, but yeah, that's what it is. If you're abroad, I'm talking about 40, you're talking about 40, 45 bucks a week. That's about how much you're going to have to spend. That's your investment. But look
And
what you're getting. You're going to get your nutrition. You're going to know how to do your nutrition. You're going to understand how to do your programming, and the programming is going to change as you change. See, that's the key part. If you don't change your programming as you are adapting, dude, you guys are wasting time in the gym.
so that's the thing that you really have to change your mindset when you go into this workout thing, because if you don't change the mind, or if you don't start to, because just like you said, you can work out. It wasn't until I started eating right, my diet got right, and once my diet got
That's
right,
it.
I was able to control my weight. You know, I'm down to like about 230, 235 pounds. That's excellent weight for me at 6'3". So, you know, and it didn't come overnight. I had to work at it to get it down. I had to stay focused, and I had to make sure that, you know, your body will tell you what's good and what's not. You know, some things I can eat. And one thing that I did to those who listen to the show, give up sugar. Give up that sugar, that white sugar. You got to give it up because it swells you up. It wasn't until when I sort of tested it, I kept putting a lot of sugar in my tea, you know, when I drink it in the morning time, and I would get sort of woozy in the head, you know, seeing lights and stuff. And then I sort of figured it out. I quit taking sugar in my tea, and I'm telling you, my whole stomach flattened out. I got more energy. I don't eat sugar on anything now. You know, I'm just straight. Go ahead.
Let me just touch on that though. One thing, guys, sugar isn't bad. I want to point this out. I understand where you're coming from and your experience. But let me just share this fact. Sugar, these things are not bad. Sugar, caffeine, all these different things, so even sodium, they're not bad. It's about how you use everything in moderation. Guys, the word I'm gonna leave you with today is moderation. Okay? Because let me show you how sugar can help. Say like there's a bodybuilder and they're trying to get a little bit more density in the muscles like that. You can use sugar like that as a quick energy source to help do that sometimes. And also in the gym. So say, for example, if you're about to get ready to go to the gym in about an hour and you have an empty stomach, sugar can be a good quick source. The only thing is you need that vitamin and mineral content to go along with it. You need that to go along with it. See? So that's the difference between an apple and a sugar cookie. See? So the sugar cookie is sugar, right? Sugar cookie is still energy. It's the same thing. Let me be clear that an apple and a sugar cookie has about the same amount of sugar content. Let me blow your mind with that for a minute.
And so, Tone, I want you to tell our listeners, because we all over the country today. Folks, you can catch our stream at TECENTV.com. I want to make a point, at least once a week. You know, we air Monday through Friday, but I want to set up a time up for you to come on and talk about nutrition for the American people and what they can do. How can people contact you? Because I know you're gonna stick around for this next half of the show, right?
Well, I'm gonna stay around for a little bit, but I know I gotta run. I got a client, but I can stick around for a little bit. I know y'all gonna get in on Kanye and do that thing.
Well, you don't want
y'all
to
can
get
get in on that. But no, in all seriousness, guys,
I can hook up with you, okay? Because I know folks might want to call you. They might want to do your virtual training. Let people know how they can get to you, folks. This will be a great trainer for you. He's really cheap and he knows his business. Tell how folks they can get in touch with you.
That's what's up. Yep. And the work guy, he's saying cheap, but you know what he mean. What he trying to say is affordable for y'all. That's what he trying to say. Because I want to let y'all know, brother is not cheap. But I can't be affordable. No, but in all seriousness though, you guys can check me out on the gram. Okay, look me up. Live at 1000_fitness. So that's LIVEAT. The number 1000_fitness. Or you can look me up as my name as you see it here, Tony Lowery. You should see me there at a cool little picture when you look me up. If you're doing that right now, do it right now. Okay. All right. Make sure you follow. And then if you ever want to book on my, and the same thing on Facebook. I'm sorry about that. Same thing on Facebook as well. You can find us there too. Live at 1000 Fitness. On the profiles, there's a book now button. When you hit that book now button, we do offer you a free consultation call. You got to take advantage of that before it's gone. We offer you a free consultation call, 45 minutes, so we can see if we can get you to the goal. If we can help you with anything that we have going on over here, and that's pretty much it. So you can hit us up there. The direct number to call, you can leave a message there, is 213-377-0545, and that's anywhere in the United States. All right, make sure you leave your information and your best contact time, and we'll get somebody back to you. All right, so just to be clear, guys, we can train you whether you're here or whether you're where you are virtually through our app. So that's how we do that, just so your guys get that wrapped around in your head. Nutritional coaching and personal training. All right.
Ding! Thanks, nephew. Folks, this is a trainer that you can get virtual. Give him a call. If you have any questions about your health, if you need some advice, please give him a call so that he can help you out. This is about fitness. This is about your health and wellness. Because you can have all the money in the world. You can be the richest person in the world, but you're the poorest person in the world if you don't have rich health. Remember that.
That's fact.
Your health is your wealth. And folks are saying that, ding, oh. Now we finna get to the good part of the show. Boy, I'm telling you, I'm fixing to come off with these gloves. The gloves is about to come off right now. Now, hello, can I help you? I want the American people to sit back right now, and we finna get it in. So.
Oh, y'all finna do the Kanye thing, right?
We finna do the Kanye thing right now.
Okay, well, go ahead and do the Kanye thing. I'm gonna go ahead and roll, man, because I'm gonna get ready for my client. But
put on some of it, because please, man. Come on now.
Go ahead, man. Y'all go ahead. Seriously, I'm gonna get ready for my client, but I do thank you for having me, my brother. Always, man. You know I love you, man.
Well, I'm gonna let you get out of here before I get the fires to burning, okay?
Okay, go ahead. Y'all get it going, man. Don't.
All right, we'll see you soon. Folks, yes, I want to talk a little bit about Kanye West. Now, I have a problem, and I have a real problem with people who continue to try to silence the American people regarding the First Amendment. It's up to us. In this country, we've been given the right to say whatever we want to say, when we want to say it, how we want to say it. That's our right as the American citizen. But as the years have went by, it has continued. Every time somebody says something, it is not politically correct. Everything has to be politically correct. But there are issues that are happening right here in America that nobody want to talk about. And we finna talk about it right now. Now, Kanye said something about the Jews. And I want to say this. I don't have any racist bone in my body regarding what happened to the Jewish nation at all. As a matter of fact, my condolences went out to the Jews, as well as I felt it was totally wrong what happened to them. And yet here in this country, the American people are spending money every year allocated to the Jewish community, where they get millions of dollars out of the American people pocket for a Holocaust that we did not commit. It wasn't the American people, it wasn't Black people that put them in the concentration camps. It wasn't the citizens of America that killed them. America and the American citizens who pay taxes had nothing to do with what happened in Germany to the Jews. But because of the stronghold and the money power that the Jews possess right here in America, then this country is doling over millions of dollars, paying retribution to the Jewish nation, and we did not harm one hair on their head. Now, every time somebody says something about the Jews, everybody in the country get up in arms. Everybody get mad. Everybody want to say, well, we want to stop this. You said something about the Jews. We want to kill your record deal, Kanye, because you said they weren't the real Jews. And actually, they are not. They're the Edomites. They're Esau's descendants. Black people are the real Jews. Let's get that clear right now. We are. We are the lost tribe of Israel. And so what Kanye said was the truth. But more importantly, for the country to come, see, this is what I call throwing a rock and hiding your hand. See, we're getting close to the elections right now, and the Democrats are worried about what's going on in the midterms. They already know they have destroyed this country. They know that they've caused the economy to bad. They know all the stuff that has happened to this country, the wars, China, Russia, Ukraine, all of these things are finna backfire on the liberals because it was all about distractions. See all of these distractions that has happened with Ukraine, and that's the beginning. I want the American people and patriots to know we have entered War World III. War World III. We already in there. We just sent ships over there. We sending personnel over 6,000 under the NATO branch. We just sent about 6,000 people over there, supposedly, but mostly American soldiers. We're sending equipment over there and everything. And in a few minutes, the United States is going to be in a full-blown war with Russia. And this is all a distraction. They're trying to keep the American people off balance. They're trying to keep us worried about, well, what if Russia bombs us? These are all distractions because they don't want the American people to pay attention to the polls, because I can guarantee you there's going to be some lying, cheating, and stealing going on in this election. And if the American people don't pay attention and the Republican Party don't pay attention, there could be another election stole, because there's nothing honest that is done in this country today. Nothing honest. This country has become the new Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what it is. And it was all about the homosexual movement. Now let me jump back on Kanye West, right? Okay, so Kanye says this. Kanye wore a White Lives Matter t-shirt. Now, when him and Candace Owens wore this t-shirt, there shouldn't have been nobody said nothing. Nobody should have ran their mouths. No athletes, no actors. None of these house Negroes should have said a word about it, because we sit right here and we let Black Lives Matter get into the Black community and get almost $1 billion off Black people with a shirt that says Black Lives Matter. And they didn't give a shit about Black people. Black people are dying in droves in all the major cities. Black Lives Matter ain't spending a dime to help nobody. The owner went and bought 5 mansions. They suing other people of Black Lives Matter in court for stealing $10 million. That's a thief stealing from a thief. And yet they want the American people to have some kind of feelings for them because they said Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter don't give a crap about Black people. It never was about Black people. It was about the New World Order. It was about them pushing homosexuality down the American people's throat. They tore up cities. They looted. They kill people. They holler, defund the police. Everything wrong that's happening in this country right now, Black Lives Matter has been a part of it. Athletes was giving millions of dollars. Companies, millions of dollars to Black Lives Matter. And I'm asking Black Lives Matter, where you at right now? You not in the Black community rebuilding nothing. You not doing nothing. And for Kanye West to wear White Lives Matter, let me drop this on you. As a godly man, all lives matter. Every life, a white life, a Black life, a Hispanic life, an Asian life, all lives matter. We should not be putting out these slogans about one people or one race saying they matter, because in God's eyes, we're all the same. So just because Kanye West wore White Lives Matter, that was supposed to be anti-Semitic. That was supposed to cost him his endorsements, which he's going to be fine. But I got a question to ask the American people right now. Why haven't people, and why haven't these athletes, Black athletes, why haven't white athletes, why haven't the preachers, why haven't all these other people came out to deal with the Holocaust, the Black Holocaust that's happening every day? You can look at the news right now and you can find a black man being killed by law enforcement. You can look in the jails right now and see that it's 90% of black men locked up in the jail. You can look in the black community and see the economy. There are no jobs. We living in war zone. Black men is killing black men. If Black Lives Matter, what Black Lives Matter at? These are the things that I'm saying. So Kanye was telling the truth. And I know people don't want to hear the truth. People always want to say, well, I'm offended. I'm offended that he said something about the Jews. Ain't nobody offended when black men are being shot in the back. Ain't nobody offended about that. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Ain't nobody donating. America is not donating money to the black community for the Holocaust that it has caused us. The slave ships that brought over 12 million black people over here to this country to build it. Some they killed on the way and threw in the sea. Ain't nobody talked about that $12 million loss to the black community. But I'm talking about it. So black people, we got to get our priorities together. We can't keep sitting back. We can't keep sitting back allowing people to use us and talk about us and do things to us. And black people, every time something happens just like this, they talking about Kanye. Black people so silly, we jump in against him. That's why we have no unity. So what? We gonna do what? We got all these other folks that I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Bill Cosby. You got all these white folks that was raping kids. The guy that was out on the island, all these that supposedly hung himself. You got the Obamas, you got the Clinton with Pizzagate, ordering kids around in other countries, doing pedophilia. Nobody's talking about that. Everybody's so worried about what a rapper said. But what I'm saying is this: when we gonna talk about the real issues, black people? When we gonna stop taking everybody's side and get on our own side? When we gonna start holding people accountable for what they're doing to us and what they did to us? Everybody crying about black people don't need reparation, but we spending millions of dollars giving Jews money for a Holocaust that we didn't even commit. And the black Holocaust continues to this day. So when I see stuff like this about Kanye, another black man, a successful black man, some of y'all want to say, well, Master, we gonna follow what Master said, because if Master said Kanye was bad, Kanye bad. Some of y'all Negroes on the social media talking about, well, Kanye got mental problems. Kanye got mental problems and he's a billionaire, and your broke ass still sitting around talking about somebody. All y'all black people sitting around talking about Kanye and what he did and what he shouldn't have did. What are you doing? He gave George Floyd $2 million. He told the truth. George Floyd was overdosed on drugs because he put all that fentanyl in his body. The man told the truth. The Democrats want black people to get mad about Candace Owens because everybody is looking up under America's dress except black people. We know what's under there. And it ain't no good. It ain't no good for black people. So black people, we have to understand one thing. We got to start pulling together. We can't let everybody in society and what the Jews said about Kanye destroy this brother. He one of us. We got to be all well damn and tired every time we turn around one of our black elite brothers or sisters who are billionaire. Y'all want to tear him down for some bullshit. Look at R. Kelly. And I ain't out of all my shows, I never said nothing about R. Kelly. And I know that brother. They charge R. Kelly with conspiracy and all sorts of stuff. And everybody that was at R. Kelly house was a willing participant. You had parents giving their daughters to R. Kelly because they wanted the money. And black people, we allowed them to put Bill Cosby in jail for something that happened over 50 years ago. There's something wrong with us. We can't keep letting people tell us how to treat our own people. It was okay. That's what the problem is. And so what Kanye said was nothing wrong with it. So he told the truth. Now America's mad because everybody don't want to know that the Jews are the Edomites. They're the descendants of Esau. And black people are the real Jews. I never understood it when Sammy Davis said it years ago because I was a kid. But I understand it now. We are God's chosen people. And we should start acting like it. That's the deception. As long as you keep a person that don't know his identity, you can keep him fooled. But when black people wake out and find out that we God's chosen people, this whole thing is going to change. So I'm telling black folks, let us look at the other things that's happening. Let us look at how black people are treated. Let's look at how they're dying. Is anybody paying us money? They're not giving black people money for reparations for all the lives that was lost building this country, all those that was killed, destroyed by animals, treated like dogs. Look at the history of this country. Look at the history of this country and what has happened to black people. Now our communities are in shambles. The black leadership done sold out and don't do nothing for the black people but take the money. Preachers done sold out. But this is not the time for America to be separated. This ain't the time, white folks. This ain't the time, black folks, to be separated. We got a bigger problem. The biggest problem is that this government, the Biden administration, has waged war against the American people. We got a problem. We're about to enter World War III. And the Democrats are using Ukraine to fight Russia. We got a bigger problem. Gas prices about to go up to $8 a gallon. Food prices is high. Gas and oil is high. The electric bill is high. Everything is high going on in this country, and we still sending money to Ukraine. We still talking about we going over there for democracy. But other countries see the democracy that you do to the American citizens, then they don't want no part of America's democracy. And that's why Putin is kicking off into the Ukraine butt, is because America got so much under money that people don't know about. They got relations under the government with the Ukraine that's trying to undermine Russia. And that's why Russia's doing what they're doing. But the American people better wake the hell up, because the liberals is about to destroy this country. If they go to the polls again, man, if we let Joe Biden get back in with his lying ass, lying about everything he did. I put some up on my page the other day about Joe Biden talking about abortion. And he was, at that time, Joe Biden was saying that abortion was wrong. And to black people, since Roe versus Wade, get your head into a place where you need to research and understand what's being said. Roe versus Wade, 60 million abortion. 60% of the 60 million were black babies killed in the womb. And you wonder why our children are like they are. You wonder why the black family structure went from 75, 80% down to 12%. Because of Planned Parenthood. All these Negro leaders, like got here, black people thinking, well, Planned Parenthood is a health care. Planned Parenthood is genocide for black people. Margaret Sanger said that was her mission. Her mission was to kill black people and to thin them out. They're growing too fast. Black people, white folks, this is not the time to worry about Kanye West. The time that we need to be worrying about is our freedoms. We need to be worrying about our children with the homosexuality in the schools. We need to be worried about this economy. We need to be worried about the World War III that's going to be fought on this soil. To the American people and patriots across this country, it is die straight time that we get back under control. Steve, are you there?
Yeah.
You got something to say, brother?
Well, yeah, we've been talking for pretty near 2 years on especially the Democratic Party that's done nothing American. They've tried to destroy this country's founding. They've been trying to destroy this country for every century that we've been a country. And now the division that our government, it's not the blacks and whites that are being divided, it's the government. and the media, and now it's in our schools. They're putting this division and chaos into the schools at these kids. Our own government just in 2001 created a Patriot Act, and then they backed it up with a National Defense Authorization Act. What that did was take our rights of freedom of speech away. Now, if you're a mother and you go to a school board meeting, you can be considered a domestic terrorist. If you're Kanye West and you want to tell the truth, now you're going to have companies like Adidas and all them guys, they're his bank and all this. Oh, well, we don't like that. So we're going to disown you. We're going to put the hurts on you because you're not doing what we want you to do. That's what's called fundamental change. And Obama was the one who initiated it on his political stance. I'm fundamentally changing this country. And
go ahead, Steve.
Go ahead.
I just, things are running in my mind. See, when you said Chase, I don't bank at Chase. I will not put my money in Chase. And I'm telling the American people, the reason why I don't bank at Chase, because Chase was one of the biggest financiers of slavery. J.P. Morgan put more slave ships into the sea to get back to America than any other bank, the Rockefellers. All of them promoted slavery. And that's why black people over here, I refuse to put my money in a Chase Bank. It was Chase Bank, when the mortgage crisis happened, was the one who was foreclosing on black people in the black community for little enough with false documents. Black people, we need to wake up. All these companies we spending our money with, we get nothing back from them. And for them to be talking about Kanye, you know what? It really just burns me to know what has happened to us. They did R. Kelly like a dog. They did Bill Cosby like a dog. And the list goes on of black men who have been incarcerated for some stuff that happened a long time ago or something that they said. It's ridiculous, and I'm just tired of it. The American people should be tired of it. We should be tired of fighting with each other because the government want to do what they're doing, indoctrinate our children, become homosexuals, pedophiles, and transgenders. We should be up in arms about that. I forget what Kanye said. Let us talk about the homosexuals in the schools, teaching your children to hate you. Let us talk about them taking your child and giving them drugs, transgender drugs, and taking them to be from a boy to a girl without your knowledge. You don't want to talk about that. And yet they in your household taking your kids, doing stuff to them, and you got to take care of them. They telling your kid to hate you. And we worried about Kanye West? We about to go into World War III. We should be worried about the bombs that's going to fall over here. We should be worried about hand-to-hand combat. And they worried about Kanye West because he said that black people are the real Jews? That's ridiculous. It's to throw the rock and hide your hand to the American people. Don't fall for it. We've had enough of this foolishness of separation. As long as we keep separating ourselves about, well, what happened to the Jews was bad. What happened to black people was bad, but we ain't getting paid. We got to get over all of that because the government right now is trying to kill this Constitution. They're trying to turn everybody into homosexuals because, oh, we're so happy and gay. Other countries is looking at us, it's like, we are ready for the taking. Steve?
Yeah, well, I'm not, in my opinion, I'm not as worried about Russia as I am China because we don't make our products here. And during COVID, everything come up with shortages, our food, our toilet paper, everything. All our stuff's being manufactured overseas. And those container ships are still sitting out in the ocean. They're still behind on getting stuff unloaded. So what happens if China decides to say, oh, okay, well, we don't like what the U.S. is doing. We're going to be screwed to the fact is that we don't make our products here no more. They've got us in a position that's worse than what Russia could.
Exactly, because they control our food supply.
They control everything of us, and that is because of our government making trade deals like they have and shutting our factories and manufacturing down here, all because of the New World Order.
And I wonder if the American people know that Joe Biden went to the American reserve for oil and gas and sold damn near the whole reserve. That's why he's begging Saudi Arabia. He's already squandered our reserves. He don't want people to know that, but he sold it to somebody else, another country. And so that's why gas prices going to continue to go up. Saudi Arabia, China, Russia, Iran, Pakistan, all of them hate our guts. They think Pakistan is an ally to America. It is not. They over there in the third world. If Saudi Arabia tell Pakistan to sit down and shut up, they're going to do what they told. If they tell them to turn against America, they're going to turn against us. You can count on that. So we got 4 major countries that's just as big, and they're stronger than us because the leadership, we don't have our young men joining the military no more. They so weak. They're not joining the military. And then Joe Dementia lost his mind. Thief Biden went against our military with the jab and put a lot of them out on the streets dishonorably because they wouldn't take an experimental drug in their arms. All of this stuff has made us a weak country. We so weak right now, we fighting amongst each other so much, we're for the taking. And if the American people right now don't wake up, go to the polls, we need more than a tsunami. We need people to get out and vote next week on November the 8th. We need to get rid of all these Democratic governors. All of y'all weak Democrats who voted for the Democrats, y'all see what happened. All y'all independents, y'all see what happened when you got Joe in. When they made Trump look bad, they got Joe. What Joe done did for us? Nothing. All of y'all people see where this country's at. Why would you vote for a party that hates the American people? Why would you vote for a party that tells human beings, well, I'm not a man anymore, I'm a pronoun. I'm not a woman anymore, I'm a pronoun. What the hell is that? We're all human. You can look between your legs and distinguish what you are. Why would you vote for a party that hate Christ and hate God? When you listen to the Democratic convention, you don't hear them say nothing about God. You can't get Joe Biden to say, he said, he wouldn't say God. He said, well, what if the big guy upstairs? He's not going to say it because they chose the New World Order. They chose Satan as their leader. To the Christians across this country, if you got any God in you, you better stand up. Steve, give me your last words. We're going to get out of here.
Okay, I only got 2 words. Just 2. Made in America. That's it. You know, wake up, people.
But brother, I thank you for calling in. Make sure the puppy tail all right, and we'll see you tomorrow sometime this week whenever you get ready, brother. God bless.
All right, you too.
Folks, I want to thank you for listening to the show today. I'm charged up because it's a crying shame. First of all, that the American people are in this condition. Secondly, this is not the country that we created. We created this country on freedoms. We created this country on the love of God. We created this country on the freedom of speech, that we could say what we want to say when we want to say it. No matter how we say it, we said it. It's our right. It's the First Amendment to the Constitution, our right for freedom of speech and religion. So why is it now all of a sudden, every time somebody says something, especially a black man, a rich black man gotta watch every word that he say. He can't say nothing. If he ain't politically correct, he could lose. He could lose this endorsements. He could lose this and lose that. But what is there to lose if you lose your identity? And that's what's done happened in the black community. We lost our identity. We lost our identity to be independent. We lost our identity to be the Black Wall Street. We lost our identity to get out in the community and stop our kids from killing each other. Black people, where is your pride? Where James Brown said, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Where is your pride at? Is that what we have come to? Every time somebody say something, we tuck our tails and be scared to say something. Every time something go on in this country, black people don't have no input because we scared. God blesses the child that has his own. And until we get our own black people, God ain't gonna bless us. That's why we going through what we going through. And I'm gonna get spiritual with you right now. The reason why black people, the chosen people, the real Jews are going through what they're going through is because we've been disobedient to God. We shouldn't be in this condition. God is not blessing us. That's why the family structure being destroyed, because we done picked up these lewd lifestyles. We've partnered with people that don't care about us, people that use us. Instead of being our own people, God blesses a child that has his own. Instead of having our own stuff, building our own communities, we waiting for handouts. Well, Mr. Welfare Man, I need you. I need the food stamps. And then we spend more money than every race put together, trillions of dollars. Our wealth can outmatch everybody's wealth. And we don't own nothing. We don't own nothing. We own problems of this country. Until black people wake up and get God back first and get our pride back, and we start investing in ourselves. Quit waiting for people to save us. Ain't nobody gonna save us. Everybody waiting on, we supposed to just sit back and wait and say, well, I'm just gonna wait for Jesus to come. Jesus gonna come and he gonna fix it. Faith without work is dead. And work without faith is dead. Christ said that greater works you should do after he's gone and he sent the Holy Spirit. And for those Christians who accepted Christ, who received the Holy Spirit, your works will be greater than the works of Christ if you stand up for him. If you stand up for God and stand on God's word, all of this would change tomorrow. As a country, black, whites, Hispanics, if we all just got together and stood together to fight the demons that we're facing, this country will be great again. So I'm telling Kanye West, keep your chin up, brother. Don't worry about them little endorsements. Those same people who just said they want to separate from you, soon as you put another hit record out, they're going to want to kiss your ass and endorse you again. Take your money. Come back to Chicago. We love you here in Chicago. Only the stupid black people who come against you in Chicago that don't understand what's happening, they're the ones. Don't worry about them. Come back home. It's a lot of brothers in the street organizations that love you. And we're going to stand by you because you are one of us. And in saying that, I'm saying to black folks today, let us get our head together. Let us stop talking about each other. Let us stop being politically correct and hosting up another black man so white America and the country can destroy him. We've got too many casualties of war right now. And look at us. We have nothing. So I want to thank folks for listening to me. Been a little bit, just some things need to be said. I just think this foolishness with Kanye is a distraction, and we about to fight a war. Our economy's bad. So folks, let us not be caught off guard. White folks, black folks, American people, patriots across this country, let us stand up and fight for what we know is right. And we know this government is wrong for what they've done to separate us. We know COVID was a big joke. Everything that they did to separate us, and they continue to do. Some action the American people. We're all Americans. Black Americans, white Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans. We are all the American people. We make the body of this country. The politicians work for us. And we have to put them in their place. And let's put them in their place. November 8th. Let's go to the polls. I don't care what surge it be. It can be a red surge. It can be a red tsunami. Whatever it is, it's our responsibility as the American people You get these carpetbag politicians out, the Joe Bidens, the Hunter Bidens, the Barack Obamas, the Clintons, the Soros. It is our responsibility to protect this country, our family, and the Constitution, and our children. Let us band together. Let us go to the polls November 8th. Let us turn this around. Let us get, I'm ready for the Republicans right now. Let us go out and vote for Republicans and give them a chance like we've given the Democrats all these years, and they've done nothing but hate us. Let us go to the polls. Let us vote in droves. And let us be careful and let us watch, because that's why they raised a lot of money. That's why they took money from the Ukraine, so that they can buy the machine and steal another election. God bless you, folks. Thank you for listening to the show. Y'all tune in tomorrow, 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 Eastern Time, TECN TV, right here. Let the truth be told. Let the truth be told. Because I would rather for you to hurt me with the truth than continue to comfort me with lies. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.